here in Guildford today. Thank you so much for having me. And it's lovely looking around this room and seeing so many activists that I've known over the years, and so many colleagues who worked with my mum here during her time as a Labour activist and also as a councillor.
Emily Thornberry, welcome to Guildford. It's fantastic to see you here. You've chosen Guildford, a Conservative stronghold, to launch your leadership bid. Why?
I've chosen Belfields, which is where I brought up, that's why. And Belfields is not a Conservative stronghold. My mum was Labour councillor here.
You need the support of 5% of the constituency Labour parties and the unions for you to proceed to the next round. Are you expecting the backing of the Guildford Labour Party?
I'm not expecting the backing of anybody. I will ask for people's support, and it'll be up to them whether they decide to support me or not. Obviously, I'd love to have the support of the Guildford Labour Party and the Woking Labour Party and the Cranley Labour Party and the Farnham Labour Party. I could go on. I would love to have the support of a large number of constituency parties, and I'm out winning support, I hope.
You mentioned in your speech about the deprivation in Guildford, but Guildford is a Tory heartland, and as you say, there are real areas of deprivation, and there was a majority voted for Remain in 2016. Do you think the common perception of Guildford as a solid Conservative area is fair?
I really hate the way in which areas are caricatured. I think that that's largely ignorance, and one of the important things I wanted to kind of point out today is how varied communities are. You know, there is poverty in the southeast, there is deprivation in the southeast, and you know, people who don't come from the southeast just don't believe it, but it's true.
But can you ever imagine a Labour Party candidate being elected here in Guildford?
Of course I can.
You can?
Yeah, of course I can.
But history would say no. Why do you say different?
Well, yeah, history changes. I mean, my dad actually stood in Guildford in 1964, I think. And my brother's just nodding. We were on one of his leaflets, and I think he came second. He was a long way behind. I think it was 11,000 votes behind. But you know, politics is highly volatile at the moment, and I think that this current Tory government is going to be a total and complete shambles. And if we can be a credible alternative, who knows what seats we might win.
There's quite a large number of climate change activists in Guildford, particularly the youth strikers, who attracted over 1,000 people in their march in September.
Yeah.
With the disappointing outcome from the climate change conference in Madrid, what can the Labour Party, in opposition, do to ensure that COP26 in Glasgow this November will be a turning point in the climate crisis?
I think that it's important that we hold the government to account and that we don't just allow them to get away with rhetoric. They're very good at rhetoric, but they're not very good at actually doing anything. And what we have to do as the opposition is point out just how weak they are being in terms of their action at home, because we can't be an international leader if we're not actually doing it ourselves. And I think that we work with people who think the same as us, and people who are not necessarily aligned to a political party but who believe in that policy. I think that we have a job to do to all work together and to hold them to account and not allow them to just, you know, waffle.
But without the majority, without the votes in Parliament, can you be an effective opposition on such an important issue?
Well, it's very difficult when you don't have votes. You know, I've found that in the past when it came to universal credit or to the health and social care bill, when they were trying to privatise the health service. You know, we would be right, we would be on the right side of the argument, but whenever there was a vote in Parliament, we would lose. So we have to continue to hold them to account in Parliament and on the media, but we also need to make sure that we're out campaigning as well, and making sure that that we become the majority, that the majority of voices in the UK are clear that the government should be doing more than they're doing and put them under pressure. So that's what we'll do.
Emily, hello. Hugh Coakley from a local newspaper, the Guildford Dragon.
I know the Dragon.
We found the other reader. Wow. You've talked about hard times in Guildford growing up.
Yeah.
Do you have any fond memories?
Yeah, no, of course I did. I was in the church choir at St Mary's. So when Mum was knocking on doors on a Sunday morning, she'd send me and my brother, who's here, he used to sing at Holy Trinity, and I used to sing at St Mary's.
And he used to get paid more than me. And I remember writing to the rector and saying that it was unfair and that we'd had the Sex Discrimination Act, the Equal Pay Act, and that I should be paid the same as him. And the rector went to school and did this assembly about greed. 3 girls from St Mary's have written to me, this is a definition of greed. No, it wasn't, rector. It was about, you know, equality and fairness, and he shouldn't have paid more than me. It wasn't fair.
You told Andrew Marr of an old friend who died recently,
Yeah.
who described you as a tough old bird.
Yeah.
Was that Bill Bellaby?
No, it wasn't Bill Bellaby. No, Bill Bellaby was far too polite to call me a tough old bird. No, it was a GMB official in Islington who used to organise the bin men. He said I was a tough old bird. And it wasn't the most flattering thing, but it's true. And I come from a long line of tough old birds, and there's plenty of tough old birds in the Labour Party and in the trade union movement.
Emily Thornberry, good luck with your leadership campaign, and thanks for talking to the Guildford Dragon News.
No, not at all. It's a pleasure. Right.
Thank you.
Okay.